Well, welcome back to the arcade. Today we're going to revisit my Seeburg SS-160 Stereo Showcase. Had a viewer request from my last video on the Jukebox from Keith, and he wanted to know how to get into this top section, which has basically, it's for advertising. It has a triangle shaped sign in it that rotates, and you put your 45 record picture sleeves in it to advertise a few of the songs that's in the jukebox. And so I'm going to show you how to get into that. Now it's latched. It has a latch on both sides, but the only way to unlatch it is you have to open the top of the jukebox here. So you have to unlatch it with the key here. So we just open the key, and all you got to do is pick this up and just let it stay right there. That unlatches these two latches. So then all you have to do is just pull this up. It's got a hinge on the top, and then you have access to the inside here. Now this panel right here, I assume that you could take this out and add more record sleeves if you wanted to, but that was in the jukebox, and you can tell it's got the same type graphics that are on the front of the jukebox, so it was actually came with the jukebox, so I left it in there. And it has a switch right here, which when the top closes, it pushes the switch and turns the light back on and turns the motor on that turns the sign. So let's go ahead and let it turn to the next section here, so I can show you how the record sleeves are put in and out. I don't know how often it has an electric motor on this side, and it turns over, I think it's less than a minute. It just okay. So now we'll open it up. Now, like I say, this is a triangle shaped piece here. So you can see it's got three sides, and it has a hinge on the top, which is spring loaded. It's got a little spring on each end. So you can just take and just pick this up, and when you do, these sleeves lean forward and you pull them right out. It has a little tab on the bottom that fits into a little slot right down here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of these out. I'll leave the rest in, and I'll show you the mechanism on the side here. Here is the little catch that locks it down. You got one on each side here, and it's kind of like it's angled so that when this is released, it's spring loaded, and the little pin that it latches on, when you pull it actually slides it up over and pops it off. So what really holds it on is when you close the top here. I'll show you that in a minute. It locks it so it can't go up. So that just holds the pin in. And you can see that this is the pin right here that it latches onto, right on the side here. And this right here is the little switch that when the door closes, it turns the light and the motor on. Over here you have the motor. It's an AC motor. I replaced this about 15 years ago when I got the Jukebox. This motor was bad, and don't remember exactly how this comes apart now, but I know this is a spring loaded, and I think somehow you can pull this piece back, and somehow it comes out, and you can pull this whole piece out, but I don't remember exactly how that comes out, so I'd have to kind of look at it a little closer to be able to tell how you actually take that apart. I don't remember. But anyway, this is how this works here. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up to show you. Now, if you look right here, here's a little lever, and it's spring loaded. When you close this top down, it pushes this little lever in, and when that lever is pushed in, it locks this little mechanism so that it won't open. That's why you have to pop this top up so that this is released right here. If you got this top open and this little piece here is out, then you should have no trouble opening the top. But I guess it's possible it could be rusted in the closed position. If that piece right there is in and isn't spring loaded and coming out, then it might be rusted up. And of course, it's got one just like it on this other side. Got one on both sides. When it's mashed in, the little lever won't release to open the top. And that's basically how that works. As far as those bars you were talking about, see if I can get them on camera here. These I think you were asking about these bars. You didn't know if you had them in the right position. I don't know anything about those. They look like some kind of tensioner bars, maybe for, I don't know, maybe for the weight on the lid that opens the top door. I don't know. Has nothing to do with the top advertising door. So I'm not real sure what they are. Unless they're just tensioners that have something to do with the hinges for this whole door right here. You know, so I can't tell you anything about that. Now, for people who are watching this and have never, you know, might be interested in how to get into the bottom door, I'll go in here. You can see this lever right here. You pull up on this lever, and then the door just opens up. Now the other door has a little catch down here. Little catch right here. Just have to flip it up, and then that door opens up too. And then you have everything under here. On the left you have the solid state stereo amplifier, and you have the solid state auto speed unit, and then you have the solid state control center. I don't have a stepper unit for this. The stepper unit would be in there if I had a wall box hooked up to it. Now I do have a wall box, but I never did get a working stepper unit, so I've never used it. And over here is the pricing unit. You have a couple fuses in that, and then up along the side right here you have the coin mechanism, and I had that modified so that it works with both quarters and 984 tokens. 984 token is the one like Chuck E. Cheese uses. It's just a little bit bigger than a quarter. And of course you got your big speakers on the door here, and then of course you got your smaller speakers up top there. Now these speakers, about 15 years ago when I got the Jukebox, I took them out and I sent them to a man. His name was Tom. I believe he was up in Pennsylvania somewhere. He was known as the Jukeboxologist, and sadly he's passed away now. But back then he reconed and reconditioned speakers. Now he said my speakers didn't need reconing, but he did recondition them a little bit and sent them back, and they've been doing great ever since. So that's basically it. One more thing, I guess in case anybody is wondering, is the coin door and the cash box down here. Now, as you can see, mine has a black door. That's because I was missing the door when I got the jukebox, and so I had to get one, and it turned out to be black. Anyway, it just opens up. It's got a little cam on the top, and it's got a little piece on the bottom that goes down in this bottom here, and then the it has a cash bag. It's just a cloth bag, and it slides out. It's got a metal frame on it, and it's got grooves here where that metal frame slides on, and that's what holds it up in there. And that's basically that. So that pretty much does it. I can't think of anything else you might want to know there. We'll go ahead and we'll put everything back together now and show the order of putting everything back together. So first we're going to do, I have to put this back down. This is the bar that it's got a notch in it down here that holds this top open. So you just push it back up, push the bar back, and then let it down, and then this will go back down. We want to leave it in this open position until we put this back in. So now, to put these in, you got to put this tab in first. So just put the tab in, just let it sit there. Then lean it back, and then I usually pick it up on the hinge right in the middle here, and they drop back in place. Let the hinge back down, and you're all done. So now all we have to do is close this down, and then go ahead and lock this back in place. Of course, I have the key here. And there we are. Well, thanks for watching. I hope it answered some of your questions. And, well, I think I'll play a song.
They passed an ordinance in the town. They said we'd have to tear it down. That little old shack out back is so dear to me. Though the health department said its day was over and dead, it will stand forever in my memory. Don't let 'em tear that little brown building down. Don't let 'em tear that precious building down. Don't let 'em tear that little brown building down. For there's not another like it in the country or the town. It was not so